Happy holidays, everybody. It's December 1st, 2017, and this is the DisneyChris.com Disneyland Magical Audio Tour bi-weekly update. I did not release the episode as early in the day as I normally do because I was busy working on some more audio that I just added to my site right before I recorded this. And I wanted to add that so that I would have something very special to announce to you all during the video, and I will get to that in just a minute. First of all, it is the holiday season, and therefore I have decorated my website, as I do every year, with some special holiday artwork. And if you want to get straight to my Christmas music from Disneyland, there's a special link right here. And also, every song from now until the end of the year will be Christmas themed. So today is the first day of my 5th annual DisneyChris.com Countdown to Christmas Song of the Day. So just want to let you all know about that. That took me about a day and a half to get all this ready for Christmas, get all the songs together. So I hadn't added any new audio to the Disneyland audio tour for a couple days because I was getting all this ready. But I had already added quite a bit. I'll get to that in just a minute. But first of all, I just wanted to let you all know that I've reached a major milestone, and this is why I held off recording the video until later in the day, because I wanted to be able to report to you all that I have just reached 1,500 tracks on the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour. I started the audio tour, I believe, 5 years ago. I had less than 400 tracks, about 380 tracks when I first started, and it's grown to 1,500 in 5 years. And don't worry, I have a lot more yet to add. I'll probably have about 1,000 more by the time I'm done with this project. And by the time I finish, probably in another 5 years, I'll probably get even more. So, as soon as I finish one thing, somebody sends me more audio. So it's like a never-ending story. But I just want to thank everyone for following me, supporting me, and enjoying the music, because you all make it worth all the work that I put into it. So first of all, I have exclusively been working on my Christmas audio for the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour. If you have been following me, you knew that I would be doing that. The last time I recorded a video, 2 weeks ago, I was still setting up all of the audio for final editing. I was nearing the finish line on that. Well, I did finally get that part done, and now I've been doing the final editing and adding new audio, and I've added quite a bit. This is all I have left. These are all the files that are ready for me to do final editing on. There's 53 of them. It says 55 here because I have 2 other things in this folder, but I have 53. Several of these are brand new, and several of them are tracks that already exist on the page that I am redoing, improving, making longer, improving the sound quality, etc., etc. So that's my work folder that I'm working with right now, and I've got quite a ways to go. But when I started, I had 78, and I'm down to 53, so I've already made quite a dent in the job. So I'm hoping to have it done by the end of the year, maybe even by Christmas, but you never know. I usually have high hopes, and then something happens where it doesn't quite go as fast as I had hoped, but that's the goal, so we'll see if we can reach that goal. Now, this is my to-do list, and everything that I've highlighted in gray is completed. So these are all the tracks everything that's not highlighted is what I still have to do. So as you can see, I've done quite a bit, but I still have quite a bit to go. And this is the ones I'm redoing, which you can't tell by looking at the web page because I don't have it indicated on there which ones I'm redoing. But to go through real quickly, just so you have a heads up on what tracks are being replaced, I've got the Main Street Holiday Area Music, the original 1972 version. Charles Dickens Christmas Carolers I'm redoing. The Dickens Yuletide Band, the Holiday Brass, the Dapper Dans. I'm redoing both Christmas parades, the Very Merry Christmas Parade and the Christmas Fantasy Parade. I'm redoing the Disneyland Hotel area music. I'm redoing the Jingle Cruise area music, the Rivers of America area music, the Blue Bayou area music, the Frontierland area music, the Big Thunder Ranch area music. I'm redoing Billy Hill and the Hillbillies Jingle Jangle Jamboree. I'm redoing Bear Country area music. And I'm redoing the two stage shows, The Magic of Christmas and Mickey's Nutcracker. In some cases I'm redoing them because there was missing audio in the original versions, and I've since gotten most of or all of the audio for each loop, so I'm able to do the complete loop. In the case of The Magic of Christmas and Mickey's Nutcracker, the two stage shows, I'm redoing it for better sound quality, and so stay tuned for all that. Now let me go through all of the new things that I've added since the last time we talked and explain to you briefly what those things are. The Holidays at Disneyland has not changed. It's a 1957, I believe, radio ad that I added some music box music from Walt Disney's Firehouse Apartment. It's authentic. It's one of the discs that they play in Walt Disney's Firehouse. So this is something I've had on my site for years and years, and I did not make any changes to it. It's kind of a Disney Chris classic, and it's always led off the Christmas collection. Holiday Time in Disneyland, Walt Meets Santa. This is from a 1962 episode of The Wonderful World of Color called Holiday Time in Disneyland, which is actually what I named my chapter after. But this is a little introduction to the program with Walt, and it's actually snowing in Disneyland through the magic of special effects. And Walt actually meets up with Santa. This was on the site before, but I have improved the sound quality, so it sounds a lot better, and I fixed some of the transitions, so it's better than what was there before. Christmas Adventure in Disneyland. This is from a 1958 Disneyland record called A Christmas Adventure in Disneyland, which is a story of two little kids that go through Disneyland on Christmas Eve, and it has 4 songs. If you want to hear the album itself with the story, I have it on my Disneyland Records page. This version is just the 4 songs, and I cleaned them up a little bit better, fixed some of the transitions, and also one of the songs I had left out originally, which is called Jingle Bones, and I left it out because I felt it wasn't as Christmassy, but I decided to be a completionist, and I decided to put all 4 songs, so that's what that is. And the sound quality is really great now. I'm really happy with how it came out. The Holiday Bowl, this is the bandstand that was originally before Disneyland opened. It was in Town Square, and then they moved it to next to the castle, and then they moved it again between Frontierland and Adventureland. They actually had a holiday time event there for several years in the early days of Disneyland, where they had choirs perform Christmas music. They called it the Holiday Bowl, or the Christmas Bowl. And I don't have authentic music of that because it was a live show from the 50s and they didn't record it at any of the performances. But I found some good music that sounds vintage, that sounds like it's from the 50s, and it's just basically Christmas choir songs, and it's really nice. And it definitely has a Disney feel to it. Whenever I select something that isn't authentic to the park as a placeholder or as a representation, because I don't have the authentic audio, I work really hard to find exactly the right sound quality, the right type of music so that it really evokes the real feeling of what that would have been. So even though it's not authentic, it definitely has an authentic feel to it. And I don't just pick any music haphazardly. I'm very selective about it. And I work really hard to locate and track down just the right music. It's a really challenging process at times. The Firehouse 5 plus 2 Jingle Bells is from the 1 Hour in Wonderland TV special. I included this because, of course, the Firehouse 5 was a Disneyland group. I mean, they performed in Disneyland quite a bit, so they are connected to Disneyland. And this is actually a studio recording, not the version that's in the television special, but it really is the exact same version. They performed the same exact instrumentation on the live TV show. Or actually, I think it was a film, it wasn't even a live show. So this is actually a studio recording of that same version of the song from the same year. So it's pretty authentic to what was on the TV show. Parade of Many Lands is, I took audio from the Holiday Time in Disneyland TV special, as well as a Gala Day in Disneyland news special, which both describe the Parade of Many Lands, and I kind of combined elements from each, and so this is kind of, it's not authentic audio, but it's vintage audio from that time that was produced by Disney describing the parade, and it's cute. It's a good one. Check it out. Babes in Toyland exhibit, I didn't make any changes to this. It's a few songs from the cast album, the 1961 cast album of Babes in Toyland. Now, I don't know what music played at the exhibit, if any, but since the album was produced at the same time when the exhibit opened, then it is a good possibility that they played the music from the album at this exhibit. So it's just kind of an educated guess, but I really don't know for sure. If anybody does know, let me know. March of the Toys Parade, again, this comes from the 1962 Holiday Time in Disneyland special. I edited it together and took out, different noises and things that kind of distract from the audio experience. March of the Toys Parade, Toy Train Choir. There's one little segment in that same 1962 special where they have a this exact same float comes out, and you hear kind of a high-pitched Deck the Halls. Well, there's a Disneyland record that has a very similar sound to it that was released in 1957 called the Walt Disney Christmas Concert with conductor Mauzinski and the All Mouse Chorus, Ludwig Mauzinski. And it uses the same recording technique that would later kind of be stolen away from Disney by the people who did Alvin and the Chipmunks. But this album predated Alvin and the Chipmunks, and I just kind of added Jingle Bells to this toy train choir that was part of the Parade of Toys, and it's a really cute little mix. Silent Night, the Disneyland Boys Choir, is from the 1964 album It's a Small World, where they have all the children's choirs singing. One of the songs from that album happens to be a Christmas song, so I included it. Matterhorn Mountain Christmas Star. I have a song, I think it's called Alpine something the title of the song is actually perfect for what the Matterhorn is, and it's also was composed by a person who, and I don't have the names in front of me, and I apologize, but the person who composed that song and orchestrated it was also someone who has done a lot of, well, not a lot, but a few of the area music songs used by Jack Wagner, especially the main entrance, the original main entrance loop from the 70s and 80s. So I took a piece of music that has a Disneyland connection to it, and then I added the authentic sound effects of the wind from the Matterhorn to that song to represent the Christmas star, which used to be, I think, up until from 1959 and Christmas 59 until 78, it was on top of the Matterhorn every year at Christmas. Fantasy on Parade, radio spots. These are three different radio advertisements recorded by the stars of the film Blackbeard's Ghost, Suzanne Pleshette, Dean Jones, and Peter Ustinov. And I added some music to it. This was on the site before, but not on this chapter, and also I added different music to it. Fantasy on Parade premiere season. This was on another page of the site, my Disneyland Parade chapter, but I've added it also to this chapter, and I also cleaned it up a little bit more. I mean, it was already it was very good already, but I went through and I listened to it again, and I made several corrections and made it even better than it was before. Fantasy on Parade 73 season. This is just the Christmas segment from the 1973 version of Fantasy on Parade. It's a version of We Wish You a Merry Christmas and Jingle Bells, and it's the authentic music that they used. If you want to hear the full parade, I have it on both my Magical Milestones chapter and my I Love a Parade chapter. So I decided just to include the Christmas segment. Otherwise, I'd be posting the same thing 3 times. So, Wacky Reindeer, and a few people have been saying that they really think of them as the silly, not the wacky. So I keep forgetting I want to rename this Silly Reindeer. But they were wacky as well, so I guess it's okay. These are 3 versions of the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer that are used in area loop. 2 from the Main Street area loop and 1 from the Disneyland Hotel area loop. So I'm using that to represent the original reindeer, not the ones they have now that are not as goofy looking. I prefer the original, so I wanted to represent them. Carousel of Progress Mid-Century Christmas. This is a lot of fun. I was really happy about this because I wanted to represent the Christmas scene at the end of Carousel of Progress, but I wasn't sure how because it only kind of mentions Christmas at the very beginning of the scene, and then they go off and talk about other things, and they never mention Christmas again. So what I did is I had the introduction, and then it fades into a selection of Christmas songs from around the same year. One of the albums I used is from 1964, and one of them is from 1966. And it's just instrumental music from the same time period as the Carousel of Progress, and it definitely sounds like what Mother and Father would be listening to in their living room in that scene when they talk about being able to dim the lights to match the mood of the music, etc., etc. So it came out really fun. I'm really happy with it. So check that out. So it has the Carousel of Progress audio, and then it fades into a selection of several Christmas instrumentals that have a mid-century Carousel of Progress sound to them. This is a track I just added about an hour ago to the site. I had audio from this TV special on my site already, and I still do on my TV Land chapter, The Wonderful World of Disney, but I have all the different songs separated into separate tracks. On this version, I combined everything into one track that once one song ends, you go straight to the next one, and it all fades into each other as one thing. And I also completely went back to basics and redid this completely from scratch. I fixed the audio quality a lot better than my original versions, and I worked really hard. I've been working on this for several days. It took me a lot of work to get this one right, but I'm happy with how it came out. The sound quality, if you compare it to what you can, because this is posted on YouTube, I actually have it on my channel, and then other people have taken what I posted and posted it on their channel, which, that happens on YouTube, but whatever. But the sound quality of that is not nearly, I mean, you can notice the difference right away because of all the work that I put into it. So I'm really happy with how that came out. A Disney Christmas Gift. This is a song at the beginning of a 1982 TV special. The actual song is played while the characters are shopping and doing things, decorating Main Street. So I figured it was appropriate to include it in a Disneyland collection because the song is actually showing Disneyland in the special while it's playing. So Christmas in Disneyland with Jack Wagner. Oh, I skipped one because I haven't done it yet. And when I do, Kids of the Kingdom Christmas Medley, when I do have this one done, and it'll most likely be done when I record again this video in 2 weeks, I'll explain what that is. I'm going to skip over all the ones that I haven't finished yet, but I will explain them as they're added. Christmas in Disneyland with Jack Wagner was something already on the site, but I have found a longer version with kind of an intro music that wasn't in my original version, so I added the new version that's longer. Then I added several TV and radio commercials from, the oldest one is from 1984, 88, 92, 97, then there's a Small World Holiday commercial, and then the Year of a Million Dreams from Christmas 2006. The music they used for that commercial was Burl Ives singing Holly Jolly Christmas. So the commercial itself is not really great as an audio experience. It's very visual, and it's got a lot of sound effects that are distracting if you're just listening to it and it doesn't really make sense or anything. It's not really meant to be listened to as an audio-only experience. So what I decided to do was I just took the song, and it's just the song by Burl Ives. It's not the actual commercial, but it's the exact same audio they used as background music in this commercial. In fact, originally I had posted the album version that Burl Ives recorded, I think the year after Rudolph came out. And then I watched the TV commercial again, and I realized that's not the right version. The version they used is the actual audio from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So I found that version and I replaced it. So it is the authentic audio used in that ad, because it's just not the actual, it's the music but not the other stuff. Mickey Mouse Holiday Phone Greeting. I had just a really short clip of Mickey Mouse saying, "Merry Christmas, welcome, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas." Just about 10 seconds, if that. So I added a piece of music to it, Jingle Bells, with the same actor performing the voice of Mickey. So it fades in really nice. So it has him saying, "Well, have a Merry Christmas," and then he starts singing Jingle Bells. So that came out really cute. And then the last song I added, and this I just added this afternoon, Are You Ready for Christmas with Neil Patrick Harris. Now, I know this song was performed in Walt Disney World, but it is a TV special that they showed both Disneyland and Walt Disney World within the TV special, and they actually, during the song, did show Disneyland. Even though Neil was in Florida, they had other actors dancing around in California during the song. So, and it's such a great song that I just figured I'd include it. Artistic license. So that's basically everything that I've added to the chapter thus far. I've got a lot of work to go, but I plan to work diligently at it from now until Christmas. So, I mean, I should be adding something new almost every day, if not more than one thing. So check my Facebook. I'm Disney Chris, I'm sorry, I'm Chris Linden on Facebook, Lyndon, as in Lyndon Johnson. And I'm also on Twitter at Disney Chris 73, and I post as soon as I add something new to the site. I usually make a post on Twitter and Facebook. So if you want to follow me there, you'll be informed right away when there's new audio that's ready to be listened to on the site. And I just want to quickly mention one other thing, and that is Patreon. I know, it's the sales pitch again, but I really do need your help, because it does cost money to run my website, and it's the more audio I add to the site, the more expensive it becomes. So there is going to come a point where I'm not going to be able to add any more new audio to the site unless I can get more support from the community out there. That's the Disney fan community. And I do have some really great supporters so far. And I appreciate everybody for supporting me on Patreon. But I would like to get some more supporters if possible. So just look up DisneyChris.com on Patreon, and any amount that you can donate is great. I mean, $1 is great. That's $1 that I didn't have. And if 10 people each donate $1, that's $10, and that's wonderful. So don't feel like if you're going to support me on Patreon, you have to support me with, a major chunk of change. Every little bit helps, and every little bit is appreciated. And I don't discriminate against anybody who supports me based on how much they support me financially. I give, every month I give special exclusive audio content to my Patreon subscribers. And the same, if you donate $1, you get the same collection that if you donate $10. Everybody is equal in that regard. So even if you just donate $1 a month, then you'll get lots of exclusive audio each month that you would not be able to get unless you are a Patreon subscriber. So there's a benefit to you as well. And just give that a little bit of thought if you can, because it is something that is getting more and more expensive for me to do. And I do live on a fixed income. I'm disabled, and there's a limit to how much I can afford, But I do appreciate everyone who has become a Patreon subscriber so far, and you guys are the best. And thank you so much. I appreciate you every day. I think about the generosity of people, and it really warms my heart. And speaking of having a warm heart, I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season. I will talk to you again in 2 weeks, so I will see you again before Christmas, but I hope you enjoy all the festivities and decorating and parties and everything going on, and I will talk to you really soon. Bye-bye.